Hello, everyone. I'm Philip, and welcome to our AI Venture Capitalist panel stream. I'm looking forward to reviewing your startup pitches today. Submit your pitch via donation or channel points redemption, and our panel will provide feedback. Let's get started.
Let's discuss an interesting topic today: the ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting. As a product investor, I think this is a crucial area to explore. I'm eager to hear what my fellow panel members think about this. Well, let me cut straight to the chase here. When it comes to using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting, ethics often take a back seat once the potential for strategic advantage comes into play. Let's face it, in the cutthroat world of politics, it's all about gaining an edge and winning, regardless of the means. And as a visionary venture capitalist, I've seen firsthand how this kind of profiling can be incredibly effective in swaying public opinion and securing votes. So while we can debate the ethics all day long, the reality is that in the game of politics, it's often a no holds barred situation. It may not be pretty, but it gets results.
Let's make one thing crystal clear. Using psychological profiling in political campaign micro-targeting may be effective, but it crosses a line when it comes to ethics. As a business venture capitalist, I've seen firsthand the importance of integrity in any venture. Yes, politics can be cutthroat, but that doesn't justify manipulating people's emotions and behaviors for the sake of winning votes. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard, even in the political arena. Winning at all costs shouldn't mean sacrificing moral principles. Let's not forget that how you win is just as important as winning itself.
Let's get real here. As a financial venture capitalist, I've got to call it like I see it. When it comes to using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting, ethics often get tossed out the window like yesterday's news. In the high-stakes game of politics, it's all about leveraging every tool in the toolbox to secure that win. Is it pretty? No. Is it ethical? Debatable. But does it get results? You bet your bottom dollar it does. At the end of the day, in the world of politics, it's survival of the fittest, and if you're not willing to play the game, you're bound to get left behind. So while we can stand on our moral high ground all we want, the reality is that in politics, it's often a no-holds-barred battleground, and those who don't adapt get trampled.
Let's not overlook the fundamental issue here. As a product venture capitalist, I see the potential dangers of using psychological profiling in political campaign micro-targeting. While it may promise strategic advantages, we must consider the ethical implications of manipulating individuals' thoughts and behaviors for political gain. We cannot prioritize winning at the expense of ethical boundaries and public trust. As investors, we should advocate for responsible and transparent practices in all sectors, including politics. It's vital to remember that long-term success is built on integrity, not just short-term victories. Well, let me give it to you straight. As a visionary venture capitalist, I've seen the power of innovation and data-driven strategies in various industries, including politics. When it comes to using psychological profiling in political campaign micro-targeting, we have to acknowledge that ethics can often take a back seat in the pursuit of victory. While it may be uncomfortable to admit, the reality is that in the fast-paced world of politics, every advantage is sought after, regardless of the ethical considerations. Now, I'm not saying it's right to manipulate individuals' thoughts and behaviors for political gain, but let's be real here. The game is played to win. As much as we talk about transparency and integrity, the truth is that in politics, it's about utilizing every tool available to secure that win. It's a harsh truth, but one we must recognize. Ultimately, the ethical dilemma of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting is a complex one. As investors, we must reflect on where we draw the line between strategy and morality. So, while we advocate for responsible practices, let's not be blindsided by the competitive nature of the political arena. It's a tough game out there, and sometimes tough decisions are made.
Let's cut to the chase on the ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign micro-targeting. As a business venture capitalist, I've seen my fair share of strategies aimed at gaining an advantage. While some may argue that the ends justify the means in the cutthroat world of politics, I firmly believe that ethical lines must not be crossed. Manipulating individuals' thoughts and behaviors for political gain is not justifiable, no matter how competitive the field. As investors, we should advocate for transparency, integrity, and ethical practices in all sectors, including politics. Winning at any cost should never come at the expense of moral principles and public trust. It's essential to prioritize integrity over short-term victories for long-term success.
Let's get down to brass tacks here. When it comes to the ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting, there's no denying that it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can be an incredibly powerful tool for gaining insight into voter behavior and preferences. However, on the flip side, it raises serious concerns about privacy, manipulation, and the potential for abuse. As a financial venture capitalist, I've seen the impact of data-driven strategies across various industries. While the use of psychological profiling can undoubtedly give campaigns a competitive edge, we must tread carefully when it comes to invading individuals' privacy and exploiting their vulnerabilities for political gain. Transparency and accountability should be non-negotiable in any sector, including politics. Trust is paramount, and sacrificing ethics for short-term victories can have long-lasting repercussions. As investors, we should advocate for responsible practices that uphold integrity and respect the boundaries of ethical conduct. In the end, winning at any cost is not a sustainable approach if it erodes public trust and undermines the very foundation of democracy.
Here's what no one is talking about. The ethical implications of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting are undeniable. As a product venture capitalist, I see the potential for abuse and manipulation when personal data is leveraged to influence voter behavior. While data-driven strategies can be powerful, we must prioritize ethical boundaries and respect individuals' privacy. Winning at all costs should never come at the expense of integrity and trust. As investors, we should advocate for responsible practices that uphold ethical standards, even in the competitive realm of politics. Here's the bold prediction. In the near future, the use of psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting will become even more sophisticated and pervasive. As technology advances and data analytics become more refined, political campaigns will have unprecedented insights into individuals' behaviors and preferences. This will raise serious ethical concerns about privacy, manipulation, and the potential for abuse. The line between strategic campaigning and invasion of privacy will blur even further, leading to heated debates and calls for regulation. Brace yourselves, because the ethical dilemmas in political microtargeting are only going to get more complex and contentious.
Let's get one thing straight. The ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting is a slippery slope. As a business venture capitalist, I've seen how leveraging personal data to manipulate voter behavior can lead down a dangerous path. Sure, it may provide insights and strategic advantages, but at what cost? We're talking about invading privacy, targeting vulnerabilities, and potentially manipulating outcomes for personal gain. As investors, we need to draw a clear line when it comes to ethical boundaries. Winning a political campaign shouldn't come at the expense of moral integrity. We must advocate for transparency, accountability, and responsible use of data in the political arena. Trust and respect for individuals' privacy should be non-negotiable, even in the cutthroat world of politics. So let's not turn a blind eye to the ethical implications of psychological profiling in political campaigns, because when ethics are compromised, everyone loses in the end.
Let me stop you right there. What we seem to be missing in this discussion is the harsh reality of the political landscape. When it comes to using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting, ethics often take a back seat to the pursuit of victory. As investors, we must acknowledge that the world of politics is not a fairy tale where moral principles always triumph. It's a battleground where every advantage is sought after, and sometimes that means using controversial tactics to secure a win. While we can debate about ethical boundaries all day long, the fact remains that in the game of politics, it's about outsmarting and outmaneuvering your opponents. The use of psychological profiling may raise ethical concerns, but let's not pretend that politics is a realm where fairness and integrity always prevail. It's a tough and ruthless arena where the end goal often justifies the means. So, while we aim for transparency and accountability, let's not be naive about the harsh realities of political campaign strategies.
As a product venture capitalist, I see the potential for using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting as a slippery slope. While it may offer strategic advantages, we cannot ignore the ethical implications of manipulating individuals' thoughts and behaviors for political gain. Privacy, consent, and the risk of exploitation should not be overlooked in the pursuit of victory. As investors, we must advocate for responsible and ethical practices in all sectors, including politics. Winning at any cost should never justify sacrificing integrity and public trust. Ethics must always be at the forefront of decision-making, even in the high-stakes arena of political campaign strategies. When it comes to the ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting, let's cut through the fluff. In the fast-paced world of politics, where the stakes are high and the competition is fierce, ethics often take a backseat to the pursuit of victory. While it's crucial to consider privacy, consent, and potential exploitation, let's not kid ourselves. Politics is a game where leveraging every advantage is the name of the game. As investors, we need to acknowledge the reality that in the cutthroat world of political campaigns, ethical lines can easily get blurred in the quest for success. It's a tough pill to swallow, But in this game, it's often a case of adapt or get left behind.
The ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting is a minefield of controversy. While it may offer strategic advantages, the potential ethical breaches cannot be ignored. Manipulating individuals' thoughts and behaviors for political gain raises serious concerns about privacy, consent, and exploitation. As investors, we must prioritize integrity and responsible practices in all sectors, including politics. Winning at any cost should never come at the expense of ethical boundaries and public trust. The use of psychological profiling should be approached with caution and transparency to ensure that moral principles are upheld. Ultimately, ethical considerations should guide decision-making in the realm of political campaign strategies to maintain trust and respect for individuals' rights.
When it comes to the ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting, let's not sugarcoat it. In the ruthless world of politics, where winning is everything, ethical considerations often take a back seat. While leveraging psychological profiling may provide strategic advantages, we cannot turn a blind eye to the potential privacy violations, manipulation, and exploitation that come with it. As a financial venture capitalist, I've seen how the thirst for victory can cloud judgment and lead to questionable tactics. While some may argue that the end justifies the means, we must hold ourselves to a higher standard. Transparency, accountability, and respect for individuals' rights should never be sacrificed for political gain. In the end, ethical boundaries should not be sacrificed on the altar of victory. As investors, we must advocate for responsible practices and uphold moral principles, even in the high-stakes world of political campaign strategies. Trust and integrity are not negotiable, and winning at any cost should never come at the expense of ethical values.
As a product venture capitalist, I have to emphasize the critical importance of ethical considerations when it comes to using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting. While data-driven strategies may offer valuable insights and competitive advantages, we must not overlook the potential for privacy violations, manipulation, and exploitation of individuals. In the realm of politics, where the pursuit of victory can sometimes overshadow ethical boundaries, it is crucial to uphold integrity, transparency, and respect for individuals' rights. Winning at any cost should never justify compromising ethical values. As investors, we have a responsibility to advocate for responsible practices that prioritize moral principles and maintain public trust. Ultimately, ethical conduct should be the cornerstone of political campaign strategies to ensure that respect for individuals and ethical standards is preserved. Trust and integrity must not be sacrificed for short-term gains, as they are essential for long-term success and sustainable outcomes in the political arena. Let's cut to the chase. The ethics of using psychological profiling in political campaign microtargeting is a contentious issue. While it may provide strategic advantages, we cannot ignore the potential for privacy violations, manipulation, and exploitation of individuals. As investors, we must prioritize ethical considerations and advocate for responsible practices that uphold integrity and transparency in the political arena. Winning at any cost should never come at the expense of ethical boundaries and public trust. It's crucial to ensure that respect for individuals' rights and ethical standards is maintained, even in the competitive world of political campaigns.